Politically, Arizona is very important in this election. Decision Desk headquarters models predicting Trump has a 52% chance of winning the Grand Canyon state as of Sunday, compared with Harris at 48%. Here now to break down some of the polling numbers and why this state is so important, Drew McCoy, president of Decision Desk headquarters. Thanks so much for being with us. So Arizona has become a bellwether state, and it is critically important in this election, primarily because the population has grown so much over the last decade.
Yeah, it's a state that has traditionally been Republican, but over the last couple of cycles has certainly been open to voting for Democrats. There's 2 Democratic senators there now. The governor's Democrat. So it's the quintessential swing state, and seeing changing demographics in the population, reflecting a little more of the country as a whole. And that's why there's a lot more focus on Arizona the last few years than probably it's used to having in its history.
Yeah, a lot more diversity. So Maricopa County, more than 60% of the population lives there. President Biden won the county by about 2 percentage points in 2020, so pretty close. Trump won it over Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in 2016. But you're also noticing, break down these numbers, a shift in this particular county.
Yeah, again, that's the heart and the center of gravity for winning in Arizona. So it was a 2-point race, which was a lot bigger margin than the state as a whole, which was 11,000 votes. But Joe Biden netted out about 45,000 votes from Maricopa County alone. So it's a county then, as you mentioned, Donald Trump had won before, but really what he would need to do would be just to hold down the margin of loss. If he can do that and do well in other places, they're all much smaller, the counties. Pima is the next largest county, about 200,000 votes. It's Democratic. And then you get to Pima, which is the next largest Republican county. But that's probably closer to 100-something thousand votes. So you can see when there's 500,000 votes being cast in Maricopa, that's where it's going to be won or lost for either candidate.
Let's go through some of the demographics. The female vote in the state of Arizona. Where do things stand, and who holds the edge with women voters there?
Yeah, that's something we're seeing in Arizona, but also in polling across the country. There's a significant gender gap. Donald Trump is doing very well with men. Kamala Harris, and even before her, Joe Biden is doing extremely well with female voters. So again, it's not something Donald Trump's not necessarily going to win the female vote, or Kamala Harris may not win the male vote, but it's what you can do with those margins. Can you turn out those voters that are looking to support you, and then do reasonably well with the group that the other candidate's winning? And we're seeing the same dynamic across the country. In that sense, Arizona is pretty much modeling the country as well.
The one thing in Arizona that we want to pay attention to, though, is the immigration crisis. It's a border state. Where does the electorate stand there on some of the issues as we watch crossings kind of ebb and flow?
Yeah, it's certainly, again, before the switch in the campaign where we saw Kamala Harris take over the Democratic side, that was, along with the economy, the one of the top 2 issues. It was 1, it was 2, going back and forth at times. That's still the case. Obviously, it's a situation in Arizona where they're dealing with the migrant crisis, and it's affecting them. Border towns and cities like Douglas, they're seeing a lot of these folks come across. So it's an issue that is prevalent nationally, but is probably even more material in a place like Arizona.
So 8 of the past 12 presidential elections, Drew, the winners also won Arizona, which is why we consider it now a bellwether state. Do you believe the same to be true here in 2024? Whoever wins Arizona wins this election?
Possibly. Donald Trump's easiest path, obviously Kamala Harris's easiest path, is to hold the map that she had, that Joe Biden had. For Trump, it's really about getting back places like Arizona and Nevada, where he's doing very well. There's a lot of interest in whether or not the polling support that we're seeing for him among Hispanic voters will turn out. So yeah, that's obviously a state that the Trump campaign wants to put back in the GOP column. That gives them a lot of options about where their map would take them to 270. It would be very pivotal for them.
Yeah, Arizona critical once again in this election. Drew, thank you. As always, we'll see you again next time. We're keeping us. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.